Hey, what up, Martial family? Turtle Sage here with another fun-filled episode of Combat Commentary. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something that I've been just, thinking about for a while. And let's be honest, I feel it bears mentioning because, a lot of us in the martial arts world are, again, get wrapped up into, oh, this style is the best. This style is, well, everybody's got their unique flavor of what they like, what they don't like. Everybody's got their own personal biases or whatever. You say that right? Well, I'm no different. And as you guys know, I am famous for my skills in Chinese martial arts, specifically Northern Shaolin Kung Fu, the Sit, Ha! Mahjong Lawhorn, and Hunying Chen style Tai Chi and Shi Chun, that. But let's talk about non-Chinese martial arts today. We're going to talk about 5 non-Chinese martial arts in particular that I find really awesome. That, just my personal biases, I think the people that do them make great showings of combat skill, etc. So, number 5 on that list would be, of course, Western boxing. The Marquis de Sade, Queensberry rule set governed, first codified by the British, and yet made absolutely, truly famous by guys like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Iron Mike Tyson. Easy to learn, hard to master, but these men and women, shout out to, speaking of women, Clarissa Shields, possibly the greatest female boxer to ever lace them up, my opinion. Needs to work on her grappling and her kicking, but that's neither here nor there if she wants to do MMA, but you get the idea. Watch that video on that. Anyway, these guys take the simple act of balling up your fist and launching a punch to the nth degree without using internal force, mind you, but man, it is exciting to watch. I love it. The entire world loves it. I watch highlight reels of Roy Jones Jr. and Pernell Sweet Pete Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather. I watched their defensive highlight reels. Mike Tyson, of course, Muhammad Ali. Just sit on the rails and just dodge, and you can't touch this dude. I just find that just so awesome to watch, and the athleticism and the work ethic that it takes to be good at it. Shout out to that. I know people who box. Let's put it this way. Shout out to the homie Brandon Martin, local champ. I would not, if it really came down to it, I would not try to outpunch him. And I'm good at punching, as you guys have seen with Fa Jin. But his footwork, his timing, his reach, he knows how to employ all of that. I'd have to fight him, either box him close range, or just grapple him, or kickbox him, or pull out something stabby shooty to win. Anyway, moving on. Number 4. Yes, I would have to give it up to Kyokushin Karate. It is my favorite style of karate, particular subset, mainly because it seems to be the most athletic, and it forces you, everybody I see who does it is a monster even into old age. Guys like Michael Jai White, aka Bushido Brown, aka Black Dynamite, Jason David Frank. You guys know him better as Tommy from Power Rangers, aka the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, and probably one of the best MMA fighters to ever do it. George St. Pierre is also skilled in Kyokushin Karate, very straightforward, very brutal, very athletic, and yet very precise. I love the way they fight. I love the way they move. So that's a good one I recommend for young folks to pick up on. Very good. Next fighting style, number 3. Pencak Silat. Silat. I don't know if I'm saying it right, so don't yell at me. I'm stupid American, right? Anyway, what got me into that one? Yep, you guessed it. The Raid. Oh my God! And it's not watered down by the Chinese government or any government. This is pure, just brutal whoop ass of Indonesia and Malaysia. These guys going in, very similar to a lot of stuff I see in really good kung fu, but with that assassin mentality that you're there to win a fight and go home. Those hook knives, the karambit. Just watching those guys work. Iko Uwais, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I love watching him in The Raid and all of his other movies. Dude is a monster, beast. Just, wow. Yes, so that's number 3. That is a martial art of Indonesia and Malaysia. They defeated the Portuguese with that martial art. They put in work. Number 2. And this should probably be easy because it's a martial art that I would actually learn if given free time, all the free time in the world. Kali. Yep, you guessed it. Daredevil's fighting style with them sticks. Woo! And man, you want to talk about people who did not want to be colonized. And I guess maybe the main reason I like this martial art is because of not just Daredevil, but the history behind it. The Philippines are a chain of islands in the South Pacific Ocean. These folks did not want to be colonized by anyone. And so, while the Spanish came in and did work in the north, so forcing people to use sticks, people in the south are Muslim and they had to use blades. So, coming in, slice and dice. And yes, they held off not only the British, or not the British, but the Spanish, and they beat the Spanish to the point that the Americans basically had to take over, and the Americans had a hell of a time dealing with them, and even the Japanese, quiet as kept, the Japanese are on this list. Yes, I give respect to them, but hey, respect to the Philippines. Also, another reason I like the Kali arts is because it's very similar to Kung Fu. A lot of Kung Fu styles. Let me put it this way. It's Kung Fu without the Chinese influence. It's the closest thing that I've seen to it. That and Silat. It's got a lot of trapping. I got a lot of redirecting. But the difference is, because it reminds me a lot of Wing Chun and Tai Chi, is that instead of learning empty hand fighting first, silk reeling, small catch and hit, open sky, closer, 6 harmonies, pull silk, you name it, and double arm circle, all that. They start out with weapons because they're not at the temple. They're not meditating. They're not trying to be on that spiritual enlightenment. They're not at Wudang Temple. They're not at Chen Village. They are there to not be taken over. So they start out with weapons, sticks and blades. Yes, mad respect to that. That is a martial art I recommend for anyone. And then after you get done with the stick and the blade stuff, then you go to the unarmed combat, which looks a lot like Wing Chun. So you already know how I feel about Wing Chun. So again, recommend it. Finally, on this list, so we talked about this group of people earlier. Yes, the Japanese. So we already brought up, it's not technically Japanese, but yeah, the Okinawan folks got karate game on lock. They learned what is clearly Southern style Kung Fu, Fujian White Crane, Hung Gar. That's clearly what it looks like. It looks like that. An Okinawan sailor clearly got washed up on the shores of China, was probably Hong Kong. He was a sailor, a lot of sailing back and forth. That's what gave us karate. At least that's the way I've heard the history, but don't quote me on that one. But now we're on the mainland of Japan, an island chain of warring clans of Asians who do not play well with others. They so vicious, they also had to be on an island. Yes. From the minds of guys like Musashi Miyamoto, Kawakami Gensai, Oda Nobunaga, Hattori Hanzo, you name it. The Japanese samurai and ninja arts, Budo, the Way of the Warrior, Bushido, all that. From Kenjutsu to Jujitsu to what do you call it? Itonjutsu, working with fire, Shinobi Iri, stealth and all that stuff, knife fighting, Iaido, fast draw, all of that. Oh, if there is a people who have perfected murder, it's them. As far as not using what we know of as internal martial arts, like the Chinese do, the Fajin and the Zen and all that. Although they adopted Zen later on. Zen is a Japanese word. What would be Chan Buddhism from Shaolin. They all had their warrior arts. It's just, yeah. If you followed me for any amount of time on social media, you've seen me do fast draw techniques. You've seen me do grappling arts. Yes. Man, they are great at having a standing army. They are great at fighting as, what do you call it, an insurgency. Hence, shout out to ninjutsu. They are good at every aspect of warfare. And if you truly want to be good at war, learn one of their arts. Specifically, if you're starting out on combat, jujitsu. Yes. Look, even the UFC has adopted them. Some of the best fighters in the world have adopted it. What's his name? Brian Ortega. Again, George St. Pierre. The Diaz brothers. I respect anybody. Of course, Ronda Rousey. Yes, I respect anybody with that skill set. Grappling. They put their hands on you. They fold you up like laundry and put you away. It's like you're drowning. How do you fight against that? You don't. You die. And those are my favorite top 5 non-Chinese martial arts. The ones that I would go out of my way to learn. So you tell me in the comment section, with respect, what non-Chinese martial arts are your favorite? So with that said, I hope you like what you saw. Like, share, subscribe, ring that bell icon. And with that, Turtle Sage signing out.